What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more Gundam TCG content. And if you like this video, hit that like button if you want to see more content like this. All right, so we have a exciting video today. We have the brand new Gundam TCG from Bandai. I was lucky enough to pick up a beta kit at the Orlando Card Fest. So I said, why not? Let's make some decks, let's play some games. And so far I'm having a great time playing this TCG. All right, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this deck profile. Like you saw in the thumbnail, this is going to be a green-white wing/strike Gundam deck. In the Gundam TCG, we have decks of 50 cards, a maximum of 4 cards per 4 of each card. A total of 4 of each card can go into the deck. All right, and let's get into the deck itself. We're going to start off with our small boys. 2 copies of Demi Trainer. Demi Trainer is a level 1 cost unit with the blocker attribute. And he's a 1/1. He's just a small boy who can block some damage or deal some early damage. You want to get him out early if you can, or if you need a blocker late game, you can just throw him out for a chump blocker. Yeah, just a solid card. Next up, we have 2 copies of Strike Dagger. Strike Dagger is a level 2 cost, vanilla 3/2. Nothing more to say about this, just a cheap unit to get out early to deal some damage. Next up, we're going to get into some pilot/command cards. This is Hawk of Endymion. All right, this is Hawk of Endymion. Is a level 2 cost. This is a command card. Activate main or action. Choose 1 enemy unit with 3 or less HP and return it to the owner's hand. Yeah, so a really good defensive or offensive tool to bounce a unit back to the owner's hand. It can also double as a pilot. It is a pilot as well with the Earth Alliance trait. So you can link it up or pair it up with some of your units, which is really good versatility in this card. And the next card we're going to go over is 4 copies of Kira Yamato. He is a level 4 cost pilot with the burst effect. So if you were to get this hit off of life, you can add this to your hand, which is really nice. He gives +2/+1 to any units that he is paired to. And when attacking, he has the ability to choose 1 enemy unit, and it gets -2 AP for the turn, which is really good to trade into other units, but also not take as much damage from those enemy units when you're attacking into them. So just a really good unit, and he does link up with some of our Strike Gundams that we'll see later on to give them haste. So really good pilot, 4 of. And getting into our Strike Gundams, we have 4 copies of Strike Gundam. He's a level 4 cost unit, 3/3 stat line, and he can be linked with Kira Yamato. So he can be linked up with our Kira here to give him haste or rush for the turn, which is really good. He has the deploy effect, draw 1 card and discard 1. Really good unit to get out early to just kind of cycle through our deck and to see pieces that we need to. This deck really relies on seeing our combo pilots and unit cards to kind of deal a lot of damage and to get certain effects off. So just a really good card to cycle through and to kind of pair up with our pilots. Our next Strike Gundam that we have is Perfect Strike Gundam. It is a level 5 cost, 4/4. This one can be linked up with an Earth Alliance trait pilot, which means it can be linked up with either one of our pilots here. It has the blocker as well as the deploy. Choose 1 enemy unit with 1 HP and return it to the owner's hand. Yeah, so good card to kind of, again, pair up with either of our units to apply pressure, as well as having the blocker trait, which is really good in this deck. You'll see we're running quite a few blockers. And then the deploy effect to bounce a 1 HP unit is pretty good. Not as good as I would like it to be. It can bounce small annoying like the blockers or that sort of thing. That's mostly what it's there for, is just to kind of pair up with our units and then apply pressure. The next card we're going over is Launcher Strike Gundam. This is a level 4 3 cost unit, 3/4 stats. Again, can be linked up with the Earth Alliance traits. So it can be linked up with either one of our units, our pilots here, and it has the blocker. So again, another blocker, and you'll see that blocker trait will come in to effect once we start going over the bases that we are running. But yeah, just a really good card again to kind of pair up with either one of our pilots here. And our final unit on the white side of the deck, we are running 3 copies of Ale Strike Gundam. I will say this card is really good. It's the MVP of this deck for sure. Ale Strike is a level 5 4 cost, 4/4 stats. Can only be linked up with Kira here. So you need to be able to see this card, both of these cards, to get its full effect. It has the blocker trait, as well as when paired with a level 4 or higher pilot. So notice it doesn't say when linked, it says when paired. So it does not have to be linked to get that effect. It does have to be with a level 4 or higher pilot though, so we cannot use this pilot. We have to use our Kira or other pilots that are level 4 or higher. Choose one enemy unit with 4 or less HP and return it to the owner's hand. Really good to kind of control board and to kind of get tempo on our side of things. Yeah, just really good. Link it up, bounce something, swing. You're pretty much in the driver's seat after that. A lot better effect than our Perfect Strike Gundam here. It bounces a level 4 HP unit, which hits a lot of units that are not paired or linked up with a pilot. So yeah, really good at just removal, getting enemy units off the board. And that's going to be kind of our main Strike Gundam package. The next thing we're going to go into is our Wing Gundam package. Starting off with our pilot of our Wing Gundam, we have Hero. He is a level 4 1 cost, gives +2/+1 to our paired units. And again, he has that burst effect, so if we were to get hit off of life, he does add to our hand. He also has the secondary ability. This unit gains +1/+1 when it is linked. So if it's linked to a Wing Gundam, you gain an additional +1/+1, so that would be in total +3/+2, which makes our Wing Gundams really beefy and really hard to deal with. So yeah, really good pilot, running 4 copies of Hero. And getting into our Wing Gundam, we have 4 copies of Wing Gundam Bird Mode. Say level 3 3 cost, 2/2 stats. On deploy, add place 1 EX resource. So this basically what this does is it ramps you. It is an EX resource, so it's not permanent ramp, but it does ramp you to be able to get into your higher level units like our Ale Strike and our other higher level Wing Gundams. Ideally on curve we get this out on 3, ramps us up to 4, and then the following turn we can get up to 5 to be able to play out our larger bodies. So really good. Run 4 of it. Can be linked up with our Hero, which is really good. Following up with our Wing Gundam, here we have Wing Gundam level 5 2 cost, 4/3 stats. Again, links up with our Hero, and he's just a vanilla Wing Gundam that can be linked up with Hero with really good stats. Nothing more to say, just another target for Hero. And finally, to wrap up our winged package, we are running 3 copies of Wing Gundam. This is a level 6 4 cost, 4/5 stats. Again, can be linked up with Hero, and it has the Breach ability, Breach 5. So what that means is if it were to battle an enemy unit and destroy that unit in battle, it will do excess damage won't do excess damage. It'll do Breach 5, so it'll do 5 damage to the opponent's base or shields. So if they have a shield up, it'll do 5 damage to that, or if they have a base up, it'll do 5 damage to that base. If not, it'll just do 1 damage to that to a shield. So really good. It has the secondary ability as well. This unit can also attack into active enemy units level 4 or lower. So if a unit throws down a small blocker or another unit level 4 or lower, you can go ahead and swing into it to clear that body as well as deal damage to the enemy's base or shield. So really, really good top end boss monster to pair up with hero to be able to clear board and also apply pressure to the enemy's shield. So kind of the whole thing with this deck is to get out our big bodies and just start controlling board and applying a lot of pressure. Kind of to wrap up our green package here, we're running 2 copies of Simultaneous Fire. This is a level 4 1 cost command card. Activate main, choose one of your units. It gains breach 3 during this turn. So good command card to just give it to one of our other units to kind of apply pressure to board and shield. So a good command card. Is also doubles as a pilot card that can link up to our units. Specifically, it's going to link up with this next card, and that is going to be 4 copies of Gundam Heavy Arms. And Gundam Heavy Arms is a level 4 2 cost, 3/4 stats. Links up specifically with our Troa Barton here. It has during pair, this unit gains breach 3. So again, just having that breach is really good to apply pressure to our enemy's base. Yeah, and just an overall decent unit. And moving on from our units, going into some of our more tech cards, we have command cards here. We have 4 copies of Overflowing Affection. This is mainly the only command card other than our 2 other pilot command cards that we're running in the deck. We're running 4 copies of this. It is a level 2 1 cost, and it just draws 2 and discards 1. Yeah, really good. Another MVP of the deck. Just being able to cycle through our deck to be able to see the pieces that we need to. Early game, just dropping it down is really good. Late game, to kind of refill your hand after using resources is really good. Yeah, one of the best cards in this deck, one of the best cards of the set for sure. And moving on from that, we're going to go into our bases. We're running 6 bases in total. I think 6 is okay. I could see us running more than 6. Bases are really good in this game, and I could see us bumping up this to maybe 7 or 8 potentially. That might be getting a little bit much, but I definitely want to see more bases than not seeing them at all. So something to think about. But for now, we're running 6, and to start us off, we are running 2 copies of Archangel. Most of these bases you will see have a similar effects and similar stats. Some of them just give some alternate effects or additional effects as well. So starting here, we have the Archangel level 3 1 cost, 0 5 stats. So your opponent does have to deal 5 damage to this base before they can get to your shields, which is what makes these bases really good. It does have the burst effect to deploy this card. So if it were to get hit off of life, you can go ahead and deploy it, which is really good to kind of protect your life. And if it's the last life in your shields, it kind of protects you from your opponent just going for game. So that's really good. It has the on deploy to add a shield to your hand. So effectively, you play this out, you add one of your shields to your hand, so it's replacing that shield and effectively drawing you a card, which is really nice. It has the activate main. Once per turn, you pay 2 resources, and you can restand one of your blocker units. Basically set as active. So any of our blockers, which we are playing quite a few blockers, if you were to swing with one of your blockers, you can activate Archangel to restand that blocker to either block an additional attack next turn, or just to protect that unit. That's kind of the main reason to use that effect, is to kind of protect your board. It prevents your opponent from swinging into your units. So just being able to restand it is really good. Our next base that we're going to go through is 2 copies of Fall Mel. It is a level 3 2 cost, again 0-5 stats. Burst, deploy this card. On deploy, add a shield to your hand. So kind of similar to Archangel. It has the additional effect. If it's your turn when this card is deployed, you can also play out a 3/1 Charazaku token, Arrested. So when you deploy this on your turn, you get an additional body out on the board to kind of apply pressure to your opponent, which is really nice. Getting that free body out early, or really at any point in the game, is really good. Yeah, the only downside is you do not get that additional body on the burst effect, which is fine. It makes this card, I think, balanced. But definitely, I can see myself running more of that card, more of this base. It's really good. And to wrap things up, we have 2 copies of St. Gabriel's Institute. This is a level 2 2 cost base. Again, 0-5 stats. Burst effect, deploy this card, similar to all the other bases so far. On deploy, add a shield to your hand. And then the additional effect for this, when it's deployed, you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck. You place one at the bottom and one at the top. So it kind of just helps you cycle through your deck. If there's a card that maybe you don't need, you put it at the bottom. And then if there's a card that you really need to kind of combo, like if you need a pilot or if you need a unit to pair with a pilot, you can kind of keep that at the top. That way you can draw that in your next turn. This St. Gabriel's Institute is definitely on the lower end of the deck. I could see myself cutting this card either for other bases or other cards. It's nice to have, but I think that cycle, yeah, again, like that cycle's nice to have, but it's not necessarily needed. And I think these other 2 bases do also provide just a bit more in terms of overall value for the deck. All right, and that's going to wrap up the deck profile. This is our green and white Strike Wing Gundam deck. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck so far, and yeah, like I said, there's not much I would change. Maybe add more bases, maybe make a few adjustments here and there, but overall I'm liking it, liking the play style, and yeah, not much more to say. Let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking about this deck. Are there any changes you would make? What other decks you want to see? I'm kind of brewing up some other decks to kind of try out. So let me know what you guys are thinking, what you guys want to see. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the game overall. If you haven't played already, I definitely recommend printing out some proxies if you don't have access to cards, which very few people do at this point. But yeah, print out some proxies, play some games with some friends. It's really fun. I think this game combines a lot of aspects of other Bandai card games and puts some of those best aspects into one. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for future videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.